There's a real danger in forgetting how far we've come. And what I mean by that is we sometimes forget how much we know, how much we've learned, how much we've done. There's a saying, I'm going to see if I can remember it offhand. It's we overestimate what we can do in a day, but we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. And that saying really rings true. Look, you know, this channel is all about making life easier, making it more simple, but also improving performance, getting more done. And that's going to be my focus for this year. It's about getting things done. I want to get more things done than I've ever done before. And that has been manifested through making things easier, making things more simple so I can improve performance. But there's a certain frustration that comes with that. If I want to get more done this year, it's probably because I'm frustrated. I am, by the way, with the lack of things that I got done last year and the year before. And that's where I'm going with this. Too often we forget about the things that we have done. We either underplay them or under recognize the value of them, our experience, how much we've learnt, how far we've come. And there's an inherent danger with that, and that is we can get really critical of ourselves without that balanced view of what we've actually accomplished up to this point, how much we know. You know, anytime you start a new job, you've probably experienced this where for a number of weeks, if not months, during the starting period of that job, you feel like there's so much to learn. And potentially you might not even get there. You think you made the wrong decision, you feel overwhelmed. But maybe after a year, you start to feel, well, for you, it'll be earlier than this. Maybe after a couple of months, you start to feel like you've got some of the job. And then after half a year, you're feeling pretty competent. 90% or 80% of the job you can do. It's just the odd thing every couple of days or every day that you have to go to someone else to get some help with. And after maybe a year, year and a half, or 2 years, then you've become competent enough where any one day nothing shows up that you don't know how to handle it. But that's the key difference, right? If you compare where you're at after 2 years versus where you were during the first week, you've come a huge way. It's the same job. The tasks by and large have probably been the same, even though it's been 2 years. It hasn't changed so much that the job you're doing after 2 years is so different than the job you're doing after the first day. They're probably likely comparable, but you're in a very different place because of what you've learned and what you've done. So, yeah, absolutely. Push yourself if you choose to do that to go to the next level, to do more. And remember, pushing yourself might be just as simple as I'll give you a personal example reading more. So, last night I read for about 25 minutes. Well, I have that timer on my phone, the Pomodoro. So I set it for 25 minutes and I read for 25 minutes. Now, a couple of nights before that, no reading for either of those nights. So last night, it was good to read and I felt better for it. My vocabulary got refreshed and it was just nice. It was so much nicer than watching TV or something like that. Not saying one's better than the other, but I was out of balance. So where am I going with this? Pushing yourself might mean just subtle little changes. Being your own personal coach, telling yourself what you should be doing that you know will it's won't be a task for you, but you know by doing it you feel better for it. And actually, as I say that, I look at the clock and I've got to get ready to do my training soon, my running training with my club. Now, it's 10 minutes away before I have to start to get ready. If I'm smart, I'll start to get ready in about 5 minutes. There's part of my brain that's saying, hey, dude, you've had a long day. It's coming up to 6 o'clock. You're cooked. just take it easy for the evening. But I know I'm lying to myself. I know I need, when I'm certainly in that mindset, I need to go for a run. I've done nothing else today in terms of exercise, except for morning yoga, but nothing that got my heart rate up. I know I need to get outside. For the bulk of today, I've been inside here doing work. Now I need to get outside. And that's what I'm talking about. Those, when I say pushing yourself, just sort of giving yourself the nudge in the right direction to do the right thing. But, and here we go, let's tie it right back to the front. But don't be too critical of yourself. Don't forget how far you've come. So any improvements you're making now is on that foundation of how far you've come, the things you've learnt over the years, which are easily forgotten. Because when you get really good at something, you sometimes forget how long it took to reach that level of competence that you had. So every so often, maybe just think about how far you've come. Think about the skills you've got. You might even, like I've experienced, remind yourself of some really key skills that have been sitting dormant for a little while. Probably sitting there. Take it easy, push yourself with how I defined pushing yourself. And yeah, remember, take a time, take a moment to remember how far you've come. All right, catch you in the next one.